everyone! So I've been feeling a little down recently and fall is my favorite season, so I wanted to do one of my favorite sort of fall style looks, which is a golden eye and a berry lip. And I thought I would do it with some affordable products. So the first thing I am using is the Good Molecules silicone-free priming moisturizer, which is my favorite daily moisturizer right now. And it's just a really good base for putting my makeup on. I like using it because it's not very heavy. And I just feel like it's very hydrating, and I always like to have that barrier on my skin because I find that I can break out if I don't have a barrier before I put some pretty heavy face products on, especially because I tend to layer stuff with color correcting and everything else. So whether it's in my head or not, I find that primers help that. So I just want to kind of have a good time and apply some products. And there's actually a couple of things that I haven't used before. So I'm excited to try some of those things out and play around with some new things and kind of do a couple of first impressions. I'm going to use the LA Girl Pro Conceal High Definition Concealer. This is cool pink. So this was my replacement for the Becca under eye because it's $5 and much more affordable than the 40 something dollars that the Becca one is. So this is my For Now under eye corrector. It's not bad. I wish it was a slightly different color. That's sort of my biggest complaint with it right now, but it does the trick. And certainly I cannot complain for the price. I'm thinking about picking up the green one as well because I just finished the Urban Decay green concealer, rest in peace. But I'm just looking for more affordable options, and I asked people on Twitter and Instagram, and a lot of people recommended the LA Girl one. And then there were a couple other recommendations as well. NYX came up a few times, which I've used before, and I don't like the pot of the green concealer from NYX. I liked the one that was in the concealer color correcting palette. That one I really enjoyed, but I was digging around with some of my stuff because I need to shop my stash more, honestly, and I found the Concealer Essentials palette from Coastal Scents, and it does have a green concealer in here. And also I feel like it has a variety of shades as well that I'd be able to use something here for contour, because that was the other thing that I was kind of struggling with, and I'm not one to go buy new products for the sake of a video. I understand why people do it, but it never pays off for me. The spot on my forehead has been a lot better recently, which is surprising because I have had some psoriasis on my actual eyelids. And I had like one little spot, like a scar here. My skin has been pretty good overall, but definitely September and all the stress that has gone along with it has made things kind of difficult. And I'm happy that my skin looks the way that it does, to be honest, because I was fully expecting it to be a lot worse. So September, my son's birthday, my son's starting school, my brother's birthday, and my father's birthday. And so this being the first birthday without my father here, it has been hard, and it's all catching up with me. And it's just been one of those, anytime I have a moment to like breathe, I feel like it catches up with me. So anyway, I'm trying to do the best that I can, and I've been struggling a little bit, you know, not quite sure with how to feel and dealing with my emotions and stuff, and working at getting better at not taking that out on YouTube stuff. Like I would sit down and do a 30-minute get ready with me and just rant the whole time, and it didn't leave me with good feelings necessarily. Like sometimes it was good to just vent and get those sort of frustrations out, but it's something that I've been working on, trying to just, you know, breathe, relax. I don't have to force myself to do content. Like that's one of the things that I've been working on, is just trying to film when I really want to film and I'm in the proper headspace to film, instead of just filming for the sake of filming. because I feel like that's when I am unable to express myself properly and my words get misconstrued, and it ends up leaving me a lot more frustrated. So I'm using this CoverGirl Clean Matte Foundation, but it's actually a mishmash of a couple things. I put the L'Oreal liquid highlighter, a little bit of that from my Project 5 pan, the Finish 5 by Fall, in here, as well as a little bit of an e.l.f. concealer, just to stretch the life of it a little bit more, because I realized I was always tipping it upside down because it doesn't have a pump. So I was always holding it upside down, and I realized how little product was actually left. So I decided I would kind of create my own cocktail to try and stretch the life of some of my base products, because I don't have a lot. As I was looking at the rest of the foundations I have the Armani one that was handed down to me, and I have my Fenty one, and that is it for foundation, which is crazy considering what it used to be in the past, but I definitely had way too much in the past. But I do miss having like different formulations a little bit, but it's all stuff that I'm dealing with. I had a headband on, so yeah, I have all these like not loose, but baby hairs, I guess. I'm finding it a little bit difficult to blend this foundation today. It's looking a little bit streaky. I need to clean my brushes as well. That's part of the problem. I've been trying to stay on top of that, but it's hard to get motivated sometimes to just do things like that, or I don't think about it. I've been working on making lists so I don't forget stuff I need to do, because I honestly have such bad time management skills that if I don't write something down and I don't have a list, like I won't do things. And it just helps me so much to know like what I have to do in any way, even when it comes to hobby stuff like YouTube and videos and things. It's just good to know. So anyway, I don't feel like this is sitting very well on my skin today. Perhaps it's because of the mishmash of products that are in that bottle. Mixing a matte foundation with a concealer and then a liquid highlighter can be a little questionable sometimes. It all depends a lot on the products you're mixing together. I'm going to use this cleaner brush just to try and blend in a little bit more. We are supposed to be experiencing a hurricane, or the remnants of a hurricane anyway, some post-tropical storm hitting us really soon, so I wanted to try and get some filming done in case we lost power. Not that I would be able to edit or anything, but at least I could feel like I did something. It's such a weird feeling. I've been struggling a lot with my camera and my computer as well. So I've had my computer now for 5 years, I think. More than 5 years. I can't remember how long I've had the computer, but it's been a long time, and it's starting to die on me. It takes like 3 hours to import my footage, and on top of that, it'll take hours to edit because it'll constantly freeze, and then I have to restart, which takes like an hour to actually restart and then reopen the programs. And I have cleaned it out, I've wiped it out, like there's a lot of memory, there's a lot of space, like there's no real issues with it. I only use it for editing and uploading, but it's got some problems, so it's a struggle. And it also takes hours and hours to export something, so like to save something with iMovie, because that's the program I use. I can't even imagine using something more intense than iMovie, just because of how terrible my computer is. And then my camera has been a struggle as well. I feel like the settings have changed a little bit on me, and I've been trying to fix stuff and like work on lighting. I actually got a couple of studio spotlights, which I don't have yet, but I found them on an auction. My mom kind of got addicted to these auctions, this like local auction where they have a lot of like overstock items and returns and stuff, and they often have things like lights, and sometimes they do even have studio lights. Like I've seen like the big box lights and stuff on there, but I found a couple of spotlights that were like $5 each. That's what I ended up paying for them, or will end up paying for them, because I've got to kind of check them out first to make sure that they actually are functional, and then I'll be able to set that up, and hopefully that'll help a little bit with some of the lighting problems I have in here. It's just like the setup of my filming space, and it's a little bit frustrating, and I don't feel like I ever kind of properly got it right. Like I've been shifting stuff around, but like this space that I'm in is a dining room, like it's supposed to be what it's supposed to be for, but I repurposed it as my filming area so I could set all this stuff up here. But it just isn't working the way that I wanted it to. Okay, so I just used the concealer stuff for a little bit of a contour. I don't think it was great, but it will do the trick since I don't have like a more affordable contour. I tend to use a really old discontinued Burberry blush as a contour that I have like the little pan left, and Too Faced contour palette, which is one that I will use. So for the base for this look, because I decided I kind of wanted to be like gold and smoky, I am using this shadow stick, Endless Shade Stick from Pixie in Matte Cocoa. So I thought that this would be a good base. I love a good base for shimmery shadows. And I really wanted to have kind of like somewhat of a dramatic eye and a lip, because I haven't done that in a while. It's just one of those things. So I thought that I would use the shadow stick as a base. This is my first time using this product. To be blending pretty well. I have a couple of ideas for Halloween looks. And by a couple, I mean 3 ideas. I don't know if people will be interested in seeing those at all. I'm not quite sure. I do feel like my YouTube stuff is kind of struggling. It seems to go in waves. It'll pick up a little bit and then it kind of goes back and forth, and I will definitely feel a little frustrated myself with it, because like I feel like at this point I should be doing better, and I feel like it's difficult because I know what issues are, and there's so many issues that I'm just unable to fix, which is frustrating for me. So I'm gonna use, for the first time, just struggling opening the package, one of the bite-size little mini palettes from Elle, and this is Pumpkin Pie, which I thought would be perfect with these kind of shades here. It really does resemble Pumpkin Pie, and it's my favorite kind of fall colors here. So I'm gonna just see how it will layer right on top, and then we'll go in with a shimmer, the shimmer shades, and we'll see how they apply for the first time. So I feel bad about it, and I do feel sometimes a little embarrassed because I see people who sort of started their channels after mine and have soared past mine, and I'm just kind of, you know, at a standstill, kind of like a permanent standstill. And it's not a bad thing. It can be a little embarrassing and frustrating sometimes, and that's all. I mean, I don't mean to complain, and I hope that's not coming off as complaining. It's just something that, you know, I'm dealing with myself, and something that it's impossible not to notice or think about when you see other people like celebrating success and other people celebrating other people's successes and stuff, and it's just like, I feel like I'm just kind of floating along, you know. But I have been feeling, you know, better about stuff that I've been doing because I have been enjoying what I'm doing more, because I finally just decided to say, you know, screw it. I'm going to do the kind of stuff that I want to do and the stuff that I've wanted to do for a long time, which I know isn't necessarily going to be the stuff that people want to see or the stuff that people started watching my channel for, because I know that there was a lot of different reasons for people to watch my channel, and I can't produce the exact same content that everybody wants to see all the time. So just thought I would just do the things I want to do, like this video, and just kind of keep going. That's all I can do at this point, is just keep on going. I have been inspired by this kind of color story since like 2014. There was a Zoella makeup tutorial, and I really used to love Zoella back in like 2014. I was definitely one of those people who loved her, and she had this, you know, very simple makeup tutorial. I really enjoyed her makeup tutorials because they were simple and they were relatable, and it wasn't so much about as much product as you could possibly kind of pile on your face. It wasn't about the most drama. It was okay to just have something simple and to not be the most talented, I guess. Not to say that she's not talented, because she's definitely better at makeup than I am, but not at the level of someone like, say, like, I don't know, Nikki Tutorials, who I feel like her stuff isn't necessarily the easiest to recreate, and certainly not for someone who's like an average makeup user. So I'm not quite sure how I feel about this eyeshadow palette, to be honest. I have been using the Retro Paradise palette from Elle, which is incredible, but I do feel like this formula and this palette is different than that one so far, but it could also just be the shades as well. Like, the shades in here are very close to each other. There's not a whole lot of separation between the shades, so I'm just going to use all 4 of them because why not? Very simple eye look. I have some Pixie black eyeliner that I'm just sort of smudging. Sounds like it started to rain. I thought the worst of it was starting later, but I guess not. Well, I don't know if this is the worst part of it, but I guess some of it anyway. So I've got some of that black liner on, and I'm just gonna kind of lightly smudge it a little bit with a brush. And then I'm going to use some Pixie mascara as well, just a black mascara. I think I am going to apply lashes though. 1, because I want to feel pretty, and 2, because I think I'm going to try and film something else after this as well, and just, I find that lashes look better on me on camera anyway. So I do have a pair of XOXO lashes that I've had for ages that I just keep wearing over and over, basically till I can't possibly wear them anymore. That's the best thing about a lot of lashes these days, is that you can kind of keep reusing them. XOXO lashes you can buy online for $7, I believe. There's a lot of good lash options if you are looking for more affordable things, because I know a lot of times people talk about those like really expensive like velour lashes, and I've had a couple pairs of those and honestly weren't my favorite. I prefer XOXO lashes, and I recently purchased some from 909 Beauty, which also not very expensive, like $10, and you can probably wear them like 30 to 40 times depending on how you care for them. And Bold Face Beauty lashes, I'm not quite sure, I can't remember how much those cost, but there's a lot of good options. Eyelure lashes are really good as well, and I have found eyelure lashes for just a couple of dollars at Winners. Marshalls, they tend to have those there if you have those places around you. I'm gonna try and put a little bit more of this darker shade there, but it really is just kind of a pumpkin pie color, and I like it. I have some glitter that I might throw on as well, depending on how kind of dramatic I feel. But I really wanted to do something that was fun for me and that would make me feel good, because it's been a rough couple of days, and all I wanted to do was like sleep. Like that was the thing. I was trying not to be so hard on myself when I was, you know, struggling, because you got to be kind and gentle to yourself, and I think that's incredibly important. And it doesn't matter like what you have going on, like be kind to yourself. And it's not all about like treat yourself, and it doesn't mean like going out and spending hundreds of dollars on stuff, because I've been there, I've lived that life. Buying the stuff never made me feel better. Like it was this very, very temporary kind of, I would feel a little better at first, maybe a little guilty, and then I'd want to buy something else because the feeling wears off. Not to lecture, because I definitely don't want to do that. I'm just saying that, you know, from my experience, I feel like sometimes people say stuff like that as they're being kind. They're being like, hey, you know, you should treat yourself. You deserve this, you deserve that. But it doesn't necessarily mean that it is the best thing for you to buy stuff that you don't necessarily need, if that makes sense. So I said, I'm just trying to be kind to myself, whether that means just sitting on the couch and drinking tea and watching Gilmore Girls for the 1 millionth time You know, it's something that makes me feel good and relaxed and calm, and that's what's important. And sometimes you just need to disconnect from things. Sometimes, you know, for your own sanity, I say don't feel bad about unfollowing people. Don't feel bad about muting people. I've muted a few people who I like a lot, but just I found myself getting kind of triggered by some of the stuff they were saying. Not that it was bad or anything, but just because I was comparing myself to them and it wasn't their fault, so that was the easiest solution. I'm going to use this Wet n Wild blush palette. This is, and it's got a little skull here, and this one has a heart. This is My Melody and Kuromi, which is adorable, and I have been using this, especially this dark shade. So I thought that I would use this because it kind of matches the general feel for the lip that I want to go for. So it's a blush lighter palette is what it's called, because it has the highlighter and blush shades. We all know how much I love my blush, and I don't know, I just wanted to do like a full face. I probably shouldn't put on too much blush though, just thinking that, so that it doesn't compete too much. I want it to be kind of harmonious with the lip color. So I'm not sure what I will do if I will do highlighter, but I kind of wanted to have that sort of berry and gold thing together. So I have two things for lips that I'm probably going to end up layering. So I have a Elle tinted lip oil in Berry Kiss and a Wet n Wild liquid matte lip color as well from the same collection in Goth Girl. So I'm going to try the lip oil first. And I was very kindly gifted these things, so I'm very grateful to have some new stuff to play with, because it really, I don't know, as much as I love the stuff I have and shopping my stash and everything else, there really is nothing like trying a new product sometimes, especially when, you know, you love makeup so much, like I do. And so having a couple of new things to play with has been really nice and reinvigorating, but it doesn't mean that I'm not using my old stuff. So I wanted to try the tint first. I might throw on, oh, it's nice. It's not as subtle. It's not as subtle. No, it's more subtle. It looks like it should be kind of darker based on the tube. Let's try the lip color on top of it though. Oof. I've been struggling a little bit opening Wet n Wild packaging. I don't know what it is about the packaging. It doesn't seem to be very user friendly. I can't get this open. I do have some weakness in my hands, so it makes opening packages a little difficult sometimes, but there we go, finally got it. Oh yeah. Look how dark and beautiful that is. Okay, so I really love that dark color. I do think I might put a little bit of that oil on top still, because I don't want a matte. I love that lip. That is fantastic. Okay, that was the best possible result there, and I do think I can then go in with some more blush. It's funny that the more blush that I was like, or the darker lip made me think, okay, yeah, definitely more blush. Then I'm going to take the highlighter right next to it. I'm going to use the highlighter on my brow bone as well, just with my finger, just sort of smudge it in a little bit. And then I'm going to take a brush with a little bit of the highlighter for the inner corners. So once again, my camera died, and while I was waiting, I put a little tiny bit of glitter on. This is from an Etsy store called Dazzle Me Glitter. They're currently on hiatus, but they sell, or used to sell, these little pots of glitter for a couple of dollars Canadian. And this is Season of the Witch, which is this green coppery sort of shade. And I just put a little bit kind of haphazardly on the lower inner portion of the lower lash line, not the inner corner, just like the lower lash line. And I let a little bit of it drop down as well because I like that sort of intentional sort of glitter fallout that's just a little bit. So I don't know, there's something about that that I really like, particularly with this kind of glitter. But this is the final look, and I'm really loving this lip like a lot. This is one of my favorite new lips. I can't wait to wear this more and pair it with more things. And I actually think that like the tinted lip oil would pair really well with some of those cool shades from the Natasha Denona Glam palette. So I have a few ideas, but anyway, I just wanted to share this and to kind of raise my spirits a little bit, and I feel like it absolutely accomplished that. So thank you guys so much for watching and for hanging out with me. I really appreciate it. A very simple look, but I think that it's a pretty neat combination of products. I will see how the stuff wears throughout the day. I probably won't be able to keep the lip on for very long because it is so glossy that I imagine it probably will kind of wipe away as soon as I start drinking something. But I'll see how the eyeshadows last in comparison to the Retro Paradise palette, which I want to do a few looks with. But anyway, we'll get to it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you have a wonderful day or night wherever you are, and I hope we get a chance to chat soon. Bye for now.